Welcome to Have I Got News for You, or if you're watching this on widescreen television, hi.
Ah, yes. I think this might have been the year the show went widescreen.
I think you're right. I hope everyone's turned their DVD things on.
Yes, you must press your button that says DVD widescreen.
He looks better like that.
As you may have heard, the BBC has issued a ban.
I'll probably look fatter now, won't I? I'm sure I had thin years within the 90s, but they didn't seem to be captured.
They're not coming up, are they?
They're not, are they?
So you said, I'll look thin soon, and...
That hasn't happened yet, has it?
No.
And when I said soon, that was about 6 years ago. Oh, my God almighty!
This is the man who we can't mention.
Now, that is widescreen.
Absolutely.
Can't mention. Oh, there's John Burt.
Oh,
This is good.
All the Mandelson stuff. Very sweet. Jackie Mason. Didn't
is
enjoy
very
the
funny.
show.
Man, this is the guy you're not supposed to talk about, right?
Peter Mandelson.
You know when he turned up backstage on the show? He obviously hadn't watched it, and he came up to me, and I had a cup of tea in my hand, and he took it off me. He thought I was a runner, and he said, thanks for the tea.
Respect his views, because he does not want it to be known publicly.
And then he said later, what'd you do on this show? And I said, I'm on it. He said, I know you're on the show, what'd you do? But he sort of got the idea something was going on.
Man and John Burt are friends. That's entirely their personal lives. And if John wants to gag the world's largest news broadcasting information on the grounds that it's a friend of him, why shouldn't he?
Of course, it's all cropped up because of the Newsnight programme.
All he did was, Matthew Parris said there were two people who were friends of John Burt.
Oh, yeah, that's the next bit where you did the home opening.
Yeah, I think so.
Clip again, if you want.
The audience now joins in this show.
Yes, it's any of our business. But if the audience wants to see it,
We can show it to you.
people's clip.
The drawback being you can't actually hear anything that anyone's saying because of the ban by the BBC.
Oh, I've forgotten this.
Fantastic, I think you'll all agree.
I've forgotten
There's
this.
a rather interesting...
Matthew Parris outing people.
In fact, where another cabinet minister...
I'm wearing an old Etonian tie there.
long ago.
That's an old Etonian tie.
That's right, you were hoping someone would say, how dare you?
Yes, they didn't. Nobody.
no.
People want to know whether you're gay or whether there's
Not one.
No, not one person. You know, the old Etonians, I don't think were bothered by it. You know, I did wear a Garrick Club tie. They got a lot of complaints.
Yeah, they're much more pompous.
The secretary of the Garrick Club said, you know, I'm aware Mr. Murden has worn this tie, but can assure you he would not become a member of the club should he wish to join.
Is there a sound clip but no pictures? Is it not possible to marry...
That's Michael Crick.
Yeah, biographer of Geoffrey Archer, of course.
Yeah, more obsessed by Archer than us.
More obsessed
Even.
by Archer than Archer, even.
Well, all programmes note that under no circumstances whatsoever should the private life of Peter Mandelson be referred to on any broadcast.
That's absolutely shocking that the Director-General put that in.
Yeah.
Norman Tebbit came out of the woodwork on Monday to suggest that gays should not occupy senior cabinet posts, saying it is not acceptable that homosexuals should be in a position to do each other favours. This is, of course, the same Norman Tebbit who steered through the privatisation of BT and a few years later joined them as a director, so it's OK for mad heterosexuals then.
Lovely, Peter.
Richard Bacon. Oh, a cocaine
I
reference.
can't believe they put this in the compilation.
This is absolutely outrageous. What Angus does before a show is entirely a matter for him.
It's quite vindictive,
The lawyer's
don't you?
perked up.
What's your take on TV presenters taking drugs, then?
Why do you ask me?
Yeah,
Why are you
ask
asking him, Angus?
Taking hallucinogenic drugs in South America.
That really...
Sleeping with a pygmy. We've done this one. We've had this one.
was in the course of duty, and
Yeah, it's a bit of a repeat, isn't it?
Yes.
there were 14 people around me of restricted size with pieces of string tied around their willies and...
You only thought there were.
I think I'd done that joke last time as well.
That they liked it, though.
Liked it again.
Blue Peter's 40th anniversary was marred by the News of the World story about presenter Richard Bacon, who this week left the BBC under a cloud. He sneezed on his way out.
Not a flicker of embarrassment.
There's nothing going on there, is there?
No.
It's rumoured that the Blue Peter garden now has a street value of £200,000. Thousands of copies of this year's Blue Peter Annual have been hastily...
This was quite funny, these extracts.
Embarrassing headlines would never reach the viewing public. So here they are. First, on page 46, we have Stone Me.
Yeah, they were funny.
Then there's Richard's smiling face below the words "pot it." And on page 8, the almost prophetic Blue Peter in the snow.
How funny do you think he finds that now?
Probably not very amused by it.
Ah, this is Allison, isn't it?
Rupert Allison, yes.
Although it is worth mentioning as often as possible.
Why did he sue this programme? I can't remember.
We suggested he could be referred to as a conniving little shit.
And Have I Got News actually won a court case?
Yes.
I mean, that was pretty stunning.
Yes.
And he lost the case.
Fortunately, yes, otherwise we'd have to pay him all over again.
And he paid the costs, apparently. It was a real win.
Edition. The first 9 pages are given over to...
Oh, great. I'm sitting next to a convicted paedophile.
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
Jonathan
terrific.
King.
I'm glad we've kept this bit.
Press intrusion. Was an
But of course it was John Sargent who
Sargent
came on
show,
his...
His name differently from the way it's written. Is he actually allowed to do that? Because it's written Althorpe, but he's allowed to say Althorpe. We want to say, oh, it's Althorpe. We want to say that.
I don't think it's illegal, certainly. I don't think you can arrest him for...
So we could suddenly start saying, all right, milk's going to be pronounced... and everybody would have to do it.
Yeah.
It's like Magdalen College is spelt Magdalene.
Yeah.
I'm playing up, I'm pretending to be thicker than I am.
I've noticed.
I mean, not another one.
Yes, at that point I didn't know that John had gone to Oxford, of course.
Yeah, he was actually at Magdalen, at my
Yes.
college.
What shows I do,
His
I never
college.
meet anybody from my old school. I don't know why that is.
Which school was that?
Wimbledon College.
Pronounced Wormler.
It is Magdalen in Cambridge, isn't it?
It is. It's got an E on it in Cambridge.
Jonathan, did you go to
Didn't
Cambridge?
it? It's pronounced Magdalen in Cambridge as well.
Easily pronounced.
Yeah, it's good.
But easily forgotten, also. Yes, can I drag it back to the answer? Or
I don't
do
know,
want to
can
keep
you?
talking about Oxford? No.
Lack of sympathy there.
I feel that I should be serving the drinks or something.
Yeah, well, I can't disagree.
What are we doing here, Ian? We should be at home writing books about Diana, shouldn't we? I mean,
Oh, I've forgotten wasn't he quite...
The weather forecast.
Ian McCaskill, didn't he? Wasn't he a bit posse?
well, it's got to be a good one. You've got to make it up a bit, haven't you? You've got to sex it up, you know.
But it was sort of brilliant.
Yeah.
Sex it up a bit.
Yeah.
Is that a meteorological term?
Yeah.
Michael Mansfield.
Field, yes, the nation's top
There
lawyer.
was also something that Di was supposed to have found around the house belonging to Camilla. Don't know if you read about
Charles.
Yeah, McCaskill was... Had he written a book?
The 70th book to be
Yes, or
published
appearing in pantomime or something.
Oh, that's right. He was...
Surely it's time to leave her alone.
I think he'd sort of stopped being a weatherman but wanted to move
Yeah.
into show business.
Meanwhile, support is growing for a national bank holiday to remember Diana. It's felt that the best way to commemorate her death would be for everyone to get in their cars and drive out of the cities as fast as they can.
Yeah, the audience is laughing at Diana jokes by then.
Yeah.
Yes, I bet what she said.
I hate
She's a big mate of yours, isn't she, John?
Yes, we've always been close.
Yes, this is wonderful, this bit. I wasn't
Changed
expecting
his
him to,
life.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting him to be funny.
Was it after the
Well, in his autobiography, have you read
Yes,
that?
I have, yeah.
Extraordinary. He
No, it was the
puts down the turnaround in his career to that moment.
Got it coming
Yeah.
up, I'm afraid.
consultations backwards and forwards to London.
Hello, he knows something's happening, but...
is behind you, John.
Prime Minister, Mrs Thatcher, could I ask you to comment?
Good evening. Good evening.
It's here.
I'm naturally very pleased that I got more than half the parliamentary party.
What the hell is that shot?
15% above
What have they done in Paris?
those of Mr Heseltine. I think it's about 14.6%. So it means we have to go for a second ballot.
It's a very badly edited version of that. I discussed with her what the position was. She then explained at length. John, she said. All that.
It's been cruelly distorted for purposes of light entertainment.
I came over looking silly there.
What we didn't know is that he used to be in review with Alan Bennett.
That's right. He was. He did a series, in fact, with Alan Bennett in the mid-60s. That's been wiped. Doesn't exist anymore. But yes, I was expecting. Oh, Boris has turned up. His first
Talking of
appearance.
professional comedians.
Originally comic, yes, that's how I say so.
Sorry, what was that?
I said it was written a good point.
Yeah.
I think this is the audience's favourite, Boris.
Comic. Which it jolly well was.
What were you recorded saying?
Honestly, I don't remember.
I do.
He didn't know this was coming up at all, did he?
Boris was on tape talking to Darius Guppy. His
A very great man. I didn't want to be totally stitched up here.
You thought this wouldn't turn up?
And what you don't want.
I mean, I didn't know any of this thing, because we don't know the stuff that Angus is going to come up with. Or I didn't know that you had a transcript of this.
Well, Boris wasn't then the sort of genial national comic figure that he is now. He was some bloke vaguely on the Telegraph. And about the only thing that anybody knew about him was this funny connection with Darius Guppy. And all journalists had sort of, sent round copies of this tape and had a good laugh about it. And for him to think it wouldn't come up seemed to be amazingly naive.
But he got so sort of annoyed by this, didn't he? He then tried to sort of he wrote a piece about attacking the programme, saying, well, it's all prepared. Clearly it's not, because he would have known this was coming up.
He said it was all scripted and that he'd seen you reading from your script. Which, if we'd rehearsed, he might have spotted what was coming.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, clearly I am ad-libbing, because I'm putting jokes into what he's just said. So it's... Unless we rehearse together.
What are you ashamed of, though, Bob?
Yes.
Whatever there is not to be ashamed of.
And why hadn't he rehearsed that bit?
Yes.
He was trying to get the address.
No, it was a very silly article he wrote, but then he did apologise later for writing it, didn't he?
That's right, he did.
He came on the show and said, it was all rubbish. I think that's why people like him, because he's entirely inconsistent from one moment to the next.
Yes. To me that he didn't get beaten up.
Because you didn't do what you told your mate you'd do.
But that seems to be perfectly reasonable.
I suppose.
I love his language. I think he does a bit here.
University with him.
I did. He was at my college.
Well, what are you talking about then?
I wasn't a friend of his.
Oh, yes.
I'm kind of sticking up for Boris here, I suppose.
He's a cretins, don't you know?
I think we've got into traditional class war here.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, how posh.
I seem to be under the impression that you speak like Parker in Thunderbirds.
Yes. There's a nice picture of what college was like. I wish.
Where does he live now?
I don't know where he is now.
I thought he lives in Althorpe House, doesn't he?
Look, I don't know, Old Bean. You better ring
The only man who says Old Bean.
Under pressure.
I want it on the record.
Outside the pages of the Beano. No one.
Or P.G. Woodhouse. He is a Woodhouseian character, I suppose, isn't he? I'm trying to get him to say something there.
Yeah.
This man Hislop is quoting verbatim a conversation I had on the phone sort of 10 years ago.
Yeah, because it's a terribly funny transcript, which I have a copy of.
So who taped the phone call then?
All's well that ends well.
One of it's a long story, but it was the man Guppy was sent down with. Had this tape. There were two of them involved in this fraud.
Right.
And this tape surfaced because Darius leaked it, because this other man, this partner of Darius.
Your specialist subject, Mr. Magnuson, is obviously Mastermind. You have as long as you like on the subject of Mastermind.
I think it's the first time we did this Mastermind thing, isn't it?
1977 led to a viewer complaining that you had...
So, yes, he seems to be wearing a Blue Peter badge there for some reason. I'm not quite sure why.
Yeah. Is this definitely the first time we did the...
Yeah, I think so. The Mastermind parody, as it were.
Because Boris gets done with it later, doesn't he?
Yes, yes.
And the question was, what was Jeeves's Christian name?
Reginald.
Absolutely correct. And what was Jeeves's Christian name?
Reginald.
Correct.
Now, there we are. I'm doing well.
Get wrong on Quiz Ball in 1968 that would have won the programme for Kilmarnock FC.
What was the name of the American playwright who married Marilyn Monroe?
Correct. And who was the American playwright who
That's
married...
Arthur Miller.
Yeah.
I had problems with that, because all I could remember was the name of the surgeon who operated my mother's kidneys.
That's a good answer.
Not expecting that.
No.
And his name was Douglas Arthur.
I can't accept that. It's Arthur Miller, in fact. Which language did you most dread having to read as part of the questions?
French.
Correct. Marcel Proust's Remembrance of Things Past was entitled what in its original language?
Can he do it?
Are you ready for this? À la recherche de la temps perdu.
No, à la recherche de temps perdu.
Was that a good Was that a passable French?
Yeah, perfectly good.
I've finished.
Just his accent's
I'll start
better.
with the next contender, Mr. John Simpson. Your full name,
Gosh,
please.
did we do it for everyone?
John Cody Fiddler Simpson.
Mr. Fiddler Simpson
They're going to mention the thing again in the jungle.
Oh,
is the BBC World Affairs editor. And
Never
also
let go of a
therefore-
gag.
it's a runner, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jokes. Mr. Fiddler Simpson, you have as long as you can stand it on Christmas cracker jokes starting.
I've had enough.
Oh, I think I was giving him the answers rather tragically from the side.
None that was knocked out. Oh, no, that was something else, isn't it?
I'll accept a nun chewing razor blades, in fact. Is the right answer. What's brown and sticky?
Oh, there I am. A stick. My son had told me that joke. I just passed it on.
Sand puts sand in his eyes.
Yep, there's another one.
Listen, I'm sorry. I really am sorry for everything I've done. You know,
I'm willing to confess anything.
confess, whatever it is, I confess
Poke
it.
him in the eye is, in fact, the answer.
Colonel Gaddafi wasn't farting at all.
What time did the Chinaman go to the dentist?
I don't know.
2:30.
2:30.
I suppose I should be embarrassed watching this again.
No, I think you're helping out a teammate.
Doesn't racism enter into this at all?
Never bothered us in the past. What's green, hairy, and goes up and down?
Gooseberry in a lift.
Flash flood kills Father Christmas.
A lot of children believe that.
Yes, so he said.
I think we should have another caption. Give us another caption. We don't want that one.
That is amusing.
Yeah, you didn't know that was happening, did you? General Pinochet's right-hand man arrested at last.
New chapter opens of Hell's Chartered Accountants.
How'd you like your blue-eyed boy, Mr. Death?
Gosh, he was unbelievable on the show, wasn't he?
Your toupee will be here in a moment, Mr. Deedon.
He was unstoppable, Tom Baker, wasn't he?
News that after a rousing speech,
He was a very unusual man. He's all sorts of things of ex-monk.
That's right. And he told us about being a Jesuit.
Yeah.
And then about women approaching him in supermarkets.
Yes.
It was fantastic stuff. It's probably not on. No.
We're coming. I feel the show gets better. You know, I'm watching this now. I think it's sort of like, I think the early, you know, the 90, 91, 92, it's okay. It's a bit sort of slowish, but it seems to be, it's more chatty at this point now, isn't it? We're playing fewer games, but there's more talk.
Presumably after this much practice, it should be quite...
Yeah, yeah, it should be, you should be able to fill half an hour.
Has anything happened? Oh, the dome.
Yeah.
That must have...
Yeah.
Widescreen.
Widescreen,
I
yes.
hope everyone's pressed the buttons by now.
Yeah, I'm sure they have.
I bet they have.
Has a limited appeal to certain viewers. People whose brains have smaller frontal lobes have trouble getting Have I Got News For You's smart aleck punchlines, preferring physical humour of the Benny Hill kind. So, just for those viewers, here's a sneak preview of round 2.
Oh, they should have done more of that.
Yeah. Can we have that again?
On a Labour Party away day, John Prescott...
Isn't this meant to be interactive? Can't we just... No.
Sadly not.
No.
Oh, my God almighty.
Mr Prescott's slick performance skills were in evidence even back in 1991.
Yes.
John Prescott, what would a Labour
these are
government
good.
do for the trade unionists at GCHQ?
Immediately return them to work. We have no... I should say CGHQ.
GCHQ.
Yeah, no. Immediately return them to work at the GCHQ.
You got it right.
Yeah, it's right there.
Immediately return them to work at GS.
No, it's gone again. It's gone. It was there for a minute. Second. It was there, but it passed on.
Ah.
I still haven't got any thinner.
Laughing.
I'm waiting to get thinner here.
It's not happening.
It's not happening, is it? Oh, now we've gone widescreen. I haven't got a chance.
I said I wouldn't be surprised.
They keep putting you next to thin people like that Liberal MP.
Lembo Pick, or what his name, yeah?
Yeah.
Jack and Ulrich.
It was...
Listen with motherfuckers.
Ah, no, yes, that was... it was rude, but it was quick.
It was. Again, there were two Fs on, weren't there?
Yes.
And your lordship.
Oh, yes, this is clearly the...
Oh, he was good too, this mad peer we had on.
Oh, yes.
About the abolition of us.
Yes.
So
What's his
what are
name?
your chances, do you think? You've got 24 hours, haven't you?
I don't know is the answer.
The Earl of Onslow, I think.
That's
I think
right.
it might be a Savile Club, a Garrick Club tie, is it?
Yeah, done as a bow tie. He did a few hunting cries, didn't he?
Yes.
The audience loved him, and nothing like a toff.
Hereditary peers from the House of Lords. The Royal Commission's report will be
You get
one
quite
of the first to be
trying to
published
chat up
in
Glenda
official
Jackson, I seem to remember.
Many of the Lords
That's been
complain
included.
they suffer from short-sightedness. So, on behalf of us all, we'd just like to say best wishes on your retirement.
Abolition of the Lords, one of those stories that's...
Chinese. Hello, slitty eyes.
Yeah.
Traditional greeting. Tony Blair. I'm going to shoot you, and you.
How did the Queen prepare for the arrival of the President?
She sellotaped the old man's mouth shut.
Martin again.
Gave him a grand banquet. An army band played hits from the shows.
I think Martin's got a story here about videoing the guy, videotaping the guy.
He enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, Hello Dolly and Simon and Garfunkel. They played a lot of their...
Hello Dalai, presumably. No, I'm probably
Very
not.
good.
And there was a bagpipe finale as well. And still he wouldn't go. It's extraordinary. So where else has he visited since he's been over
I think
here?
this is it.
Yeah.
He went to the Globe because I live opposite it, and I videoed it in case somebody shot him.
Extraordinary revelation, isn't it? Insight into Martin's private life.
Yes,
Going
yes.
hunting at the weekend. Oh, who's that man with his hand over his face?
Prince Charles picking his nose.
Oh, yes. And that's it.
What has struck me is that...
Yes, he knows about this.
The Church of England was pro-fox hunting and anti-buggery, and it's now pro-buggery and anti-fox hunting.
But presumably with buggery, you don't have to chase your quarry through the countryside.
You ask Peter Tatchell.
I don't know, they move pretty quick on Hampstead Heath, don't they?
How do you know?
I should have seen that coming.
Yes.
Only when you're there. Quick, it's his lot. Pretend you're an undercover policeman. Quickly, swallow the evidence. So...
Unnecessary.
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 You've done 3, 4...
Yeah.
Celebrities that have been involved in fox hunting in the past include Harry Enfield, Ian Botham and even Anne Robinson, but only because she's small and ginger and happened to be walking across a field.
I didn't know Harry had been fox hunting.
No. Perhaps he's just pro-hunting.
George Bush Jr.
He got embarrassed. He's a presidential candidate. He couldn't name the recent strongman who's taken over Pakistan.
Ah, well, now this is...
No, we're back in this territory.
Have a look at this.
I don't know who that is next to me.
It's Mark Seddon,
Oh, yes.
sort of Labour dissident.
The new Prime Minister of India is...
Started getting them on.
No. The new Pakistani general has just been elected. He's not elected. This guy took over office. He appears he's going to bring stability to the country, and I think that's good news for the subcontinent.
And you can name him.
General. I can't name the general.
And it's...
General.
It's blatant, isn't it?
It would be terrifying.
Yes.
If it wasn't so funny.
Candidates for mayor, reminiscent of Dick Turpin.
You see, Archer wasn't in jail. It's difficult to imagine it now, isn't
I know,
it?
isn't it extraordinary? We still had to be very careful what we said about him.
Why am I not on there?
Are you a candidate?
Yes.
I'm terribly sorry, we had no idea.
Why not to invite her on and then leave her off?
Yes.
Oh, there's a surprise.
Lord Archer of Rebound.
Oh, there's Shagger Norris.
Oh, look, front cover of the News of the World.
Sensible candidate. Anyway, Jeff got his comeuppance, and we mustn't gloat because it's incredibly funny.
Oh, there's Anna Ford.
So what was the
And Salmond
alibi
again.
he asked his friend to give, the false alibi?
Well, he got someone else to lie for him. Presumably bored of doing it for himself, so...
We can say all this now, isn't it wonderful?
Yeah. It's a tosspot.
Yeah.
Somebody says he's on the brink of committing suicide, and somebody else says that, oh, the public have been very supportive of him. Combine the two, he should commit suicide in public. He could be his own hangman.
This was quite a macabre fantasy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A sympathetic response. Yeah. So where were we?
You'll
This
feel
is
really
your...
bad on the repeat when he has.
Yeah. And you didn't bother going to see it.
The man who stands...
You're unrepentant, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Stephen Norris, who was accused of saying of his rival, "I will never ever support Archer alive."
I think some people are just beyond the pale, really, and I think Archer's one of them.
I don't recognise them. It's not words I've ever used about anybody in any circumstance.
Oh, yes, this was terrific.
However, this does seem to be somewhat at odds with his views as expressed here.
As I will never, ever support Archer, alive or dead.
An absolute in flagrante lie.
First-class poses. The photographs of Edward and Sophie just been released on the first-class stamps.
Ah, you've gone for the centre parting here.
It's coming and going. I'm still waiting to get thin. I'm sure I've got photographs at home of me being thin.
It makes them look like, because they're both wearing the same colour top, like one person with two heads. Inbreeding.
So where's the wedding happening?
St. George.
Oh, that's embarrassing. I was doing that.
Chapel. Have you been invited, Stephen?
Shut up.
Have you, Angus?
No, I certainly haven't, no. Will you be going to the stag night, do you think?
Leave me alone.
Again, with Stephen, it's a pretence that he wouldn't be asked these questions.
Yes, yes.
Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Is this just Edward's closest buddies?
And Stephen,
You're accusing me. I have not penetrated Prince Edward's intimate circle.
Richard Littlejohn, yes, who was, I think, the only time we've ever asked the guest to say something at the end of the recording so we could show they were in his show. So I think he didn't say much at all, did he?
No, he went completely silent.
He's meant to be the voice of the people or something, isn't he?
Yeah, very quiet. That's the voice of the sun, anyway.
Yeah, I think he was secretly in love with Stephen.
According to the Mail, immediately after the wedding, Prince Edward is planning to whisk Sophie off.
Smut level just going up here.
This is the Turner Prize. This is a bloke who does video art, and he did a recreation of a scene in a Buster Keaton movie where a house falls down and...
What am I doing talking about Buster Keaton? This is your special subject.
This has already been done
Steamboat Bill Jr.
But he's done it again, so it's art. And he's done it very slowly, so it's very good art.
Boris is back.
You know, sometimes I do wonder about you.
Janet Street Porter was on the last show we had with Boris as well, so...
Is it really necessary?
They obviously come as a package.
Philistine? Just out of interest, what kind of art do you have on your
He's got a lovely Athena Reproductions.
Two-tone suit.
It's a tennis girl with no shorts scratching her ass.
What art do you have on your bedroom wall?
Well, I paint myself, actually, to be
Do
totally
you?
honest. Yeah, I do.
Do you get into bed before you're dry? Why did you come back onto this programme again?
Yeah, good question.
Well, basically, because for the money.
And a great answer.
Yes.
I'm not a...
Because last time we were on, you created this enormous stink because you said everything was
I know.
rehearsed.
I want to apologise for that. I'm very sorry about that.
Oh, well, that's
and it was
fair
a great
enough.
mistake. I want to make it clear to all the little children who are watching and who may have sometimes sort of felt, wondered, like whether Father Christmas exists, whether this show is entirely, as an absolutely sort of brilliant flow of spontaneity. It is.
It is.
It is. And
well said, Boris. Thank you.
Oh, that was good that you said that.
Marilyn Monroe, Karl Marx, James Major, and Prince Edward.
James Major, I've forgotten all about him.
Yeah, the other embarrassing relative.
Here we go. 8 years it took to get this gag on screen.
I can't believe we did this.
Yeah, it was Harry Thompson, the first producer. I said, what you do is I look up in the air, me and Ian running through a field. He didn't want it. Colin Swash, he was next. He wouldn't have it. It was only when we got Richard Wilson and Giles Pilbrow as producers that we actually went with it.
Sorry, I was miles away.
8 years. Huge laugh, round of applause.
His name is English for Magnus Magnuson. Did you know that?
An embarrassment for you.
Yeah, exactly.
I would say on the face of it, Michael Winner's the only one that's not hosted a popular quiz show. But it can't be that, because that's too easy.
Yes, and a slightly stupid answer.
Oh, well, no, there'll be trouble now.
No, yeah.
So,
With that haircut.
Slightly stupid.
Have you been taking something, Angus?
This for 9 years.
So I did know.
The only one out, because behind
I always thought I was naive, but look.
No, you're psychic.
Perceptive.
Hello, I've said something there, but never mind. I don't know what it was.
Head girls, except for yourself.
How marvellous.
There's Glenda.
You were head girl at Ardingly, weren't you?
I wasn't head girl, no.
So which school did you go to, then?
What's it to you?
Well, you were asking Ian about his school. Why do we ask you about yours?
Caterham School.
Caterham?
It didn't matter what he'd say.
No, the ooh was coming, wasn't
Here's
it?
the big one, Paul. Ask Lord Onslow which school he went to.
Lord?
I'll whisper.
Tooting Beck Grammar.
That's right.
You've done well for
I think he said Eton.
He did, yeah. I just wanted him to admit it.
Can you remember your motto?
Who are you looking at? I'm sorry.
That must have been a tough school.
It's a long reaction from Glenda. I thought...
Outside the school gate.
Mandelson goes
here we
into
go.
what zone?
Boy.
This must be when we finally sort of say the sexuality thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ozone, no.
Yeah.
Twilight. No, it is in fact doubt zone. Next, Irish snail threatened.
No, it wasn't.
No, still then.
Golf course in Ireland.
Yeah.
Threatens the Pope by climbing on a stepladder and waving a razor in his face. I'm after you, you dirty little bugger. You come here, no, you dirty little bugger.
Character work.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going.
Oh, dear, I just posted something in there.
Stephen.
You must stop meeting like this, Camilla.
Prince Charles is surprised when a pint of Guinness looks at him in a funny way. Look at that ugly, poisonous creature.
Spider saying, apparently they eat their husbands, don't they?
Eat it, you mad bat.
Just abuse, generally. Isn't it?
Thank you.
I think I was trying to look like Prince Edward by wearing a roll neck and a jacket, because he'd just appeared that week.
Well, we're...
Oh, the Millennium issue.
Yes. We still haven't done Mandelson, then. We still haven't...
Must have been going on.
Haven't outed him.
BBC Two viewers that the move to mainstream television will in no way affect...
We're on BBC One now.
Right, yes. This, I thought, was a poor idea, badly executed.
I'm glad it's in then.
You see, once you got me and you running through a field, I was suddenly, oh, yes, we can do all this stuff now. So we have a bunch of Tiller girls running across the stage.
Do you think there's a special
Hello,
button
I'm nearly
now?
thin. I was nearly thin for a moment there.
No, just from that angle.
Oh, that's it. Although this is where the kid gets it in. Oh, no!
Oh, no!
Oh, dear. I hate that.
Yeah, that'll be where the plates come.
Yeah.
So now we're on BBC One. What happened? Did we get any more viewers?
I think... Oh, hang on a sec. This might be the... This is it.
Peter Mandelson.
Mandelson.
Normally. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Took the money from Roger.
Jeffrey. Robinson. We're getting near.
Yeah.
Richard Blackwood, who didn't know anything at all.
He took this money, 300 and something thousand, and he's saying, well, you know, because he's the head of the Northern... Is it Irish constituency? Is that right?
He's sort of Northern Ireland minister, but yes.
Northern Ireland. So I'm piecing this together.
Yeah. Have you thought of taking a job on our new 10 o'clock?
Simpson risking his career by doing a dumbing down joke.
Yes.
Very good.
We've got a problem on this programme because we're not allowed to say that Peter Mandelson is a home owner.
But then you ruined it.
Yes, yes.
But what's wrong with gay people owning homes?
That's the moment. That's the moment.
That was the crunch point. They had to decide then whether to take us off or not.
Yeah. Well, Greg Dyke had he become new DG at that point?
I'm not sure he had, actually.
You're on a 2-second delay, isn't that right? You're on a 2-second delay, isn't that right? I said you're on a 2-second delay.
This was another terrible idea.
Poor old Shayla, you were very mean to him.
Well, yes, he wasn't there.
Is that the excuse?
Yeah.
Don't ask me what's going on in MI5, I don't know.
You only work there.
He's got John Prescott.
Exactly.
Soon every programme will be made like this.
I'm not happy with this, am I?
No. Well, your theory is that comedy is about timing, and when someone's 2 seons behind,
You
it's
can't
not
time
good.
anything.
Bush wins. He said that he's only been out of the United States twice, and one of those was Disneyland.
Who's that talking? Oh, it's...
About Chads, isn't it?
Is it a Liberal guy?
Oh, yes, it's David Betland, but he was a real find. It's hard enough getting any MPs on, but he was actually very good.
And his great thing is asteroids hitting the Earth.
Yeah.
And we should be doing something about it.
And everyone laughed at him, and then they keep finding ones that might do.
Liberally Democrat.
I think so far in this commentary I've mentioned him 4 times and I haven't got his name right.
It's an odd name. Lembit Opik.
Yeah, that's it.
With the Chads.
Next time I'll get it wrong again.
Hello.
What are you wearing?
I think it'd been a dull show the week before. And I thought, I've got to wear this to get something happening.
It's a costume prop.
Actually, I'm looking thin. No, I'm not. I thought I did.
No, nearly.
Nearly.
Can't wait to see it.
No, I'm not.
You'll probably be in it.
Yeah.
In the States, the election has become a so-called water cooler debate, meaning that Americans gather around the water cooler at work and discuss whether it would make a better president than Bush or Hillary. Only 20% of Americans will actually vote. The other 80% can't fit in the polling booths.
I came across an old copy of The Guardian last week from 18 months ago, and there's a big sort of thing about Bushisms and all the stupid remarks.
No, Bush, national hero. Amazing turnaround.
Bush and Gore, a bit like Channel 5, really.
Jermaine likes those ones.
Yes.
Looks like rain.
The water shortage in the south.
Hey! Hey, that's me.
And that's Kent.
I'm sure it
I've
was
got no
too.
sympathy for these people. Why buy a house that's in the middle of a river?
Now, I'm thinner there.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true.
Something's happened there.
So what, if I may ask, is the Liberal Democrat angle on global warming?
We're very concerned.
Right.
Was he leader? Yes, he must have been.
He must
leader.
be at this point, I think, yeah.
We very rarely have actual leaders on.
A leader of a major political party.
Yeah.
But isn't it the equivalent of like being I'm a celebrity, get me out of here?
Yeah.
You know, you're only on the programme because you need to be on the programme.
Yeah. Though Duncan Smith might be.
Do you think? Do you think he'll take the bait?
He might.
Sporting footage again, and only one person has
No,
asked
I
us
don't.
not to. So here it is.
No, I know what's coming. Yes.
This is great. Here we go. Hey, it's going the wrong way.
0 out of 10. Fantastic.
As if the old people spend their time doing that in their home, you know?
Can't lift it up.
This is somebody was.
Oh, another
I've gone
liberal.
fat again.
I think made a jacket.
Not liberals on.
Have gone into this jacket, and it's been, animal rights protesters said this is terrible. And Geeves and Hawkes, I believe, are the names of the tailors, Savile Row tailors. And they've
Jeeves,
made...
I think you'll find
Is it Jeeves?
Could be. Sounds more likely, doesn't it?
Is it?
Yeah.
How's it spelt?
G-E-I.
How do we know?
It threw me, you see. I was following the letters.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's Jeeves or Geeves.
So Jeeves and Hawkes, yes.
I thought it was
They made
Jeeves
a
and Hawkes.
jacket out of...
It must be Jeeves if...
out of 100 hamsters.
I'd always called it Jeeves and Hawkes, but I suddenly thought you might be right.
No one's ever suggested to me you do with a hamster. I got no sympathy with hamsters. They just sit in cages.
Oh, this is not very popular.
No. So I'll obviously go for it.
Die on you and upset.
Yeah, but that's not the
It's
hamster.
this way they get made into a coat.
That's
I'm
not
for it.
That's not the hamster's fault, the fact they sit in a cage. People put them in there. It's like saying Rudolph Hess, all he does is sit around in prison all day.
I'm sure that's the first comparison between a German war criminal and a hamster that's been done.
Not the last, I hope.
Yes.
Who's Piers Rhodes?
Here's right. They're made of... Would you explain to him, Paul?
Piers robes, it's the ermine when you go inside.
You're there. You know what it's made of?
Gerbils.
What?
Gerbils.
Gerbils.
No, he was Hitler's propaganda minister.
There you see, it's all come around
It
again.
all comes round in the end.
I'm saying the same thing, look.
Live, recorded.
To prove I'm the same person.
White rabbit or to have fake
Well,
fur, can't you?
all the new ones are fake. If you look at Jeffrey Archer's one, it's all...
Funny how often he comes up.
Yes. Well, he adds to the gaiety of nations, isn't he?
Yes, there are several advantages of using hamsters in tailoring. Not only is the fur machine washable, but they turn the spin dry around themselves.
Now, that's Dominic Holland, who used to be our warm-up man.
He used to do all the warm-ups, didn't he?
All right.
Lee Hurst did warm-ups in a while.
Then they get too good, and they go off and do their own shows.
Yes.
So you're going to explain to everyone.
Fred Macaulay, he got his own show afterwards.
That one of the critics always thought that you looked particularly well deodorised on this programme, and I was just checking.
Oh, a close-up?
Yes, we've not had one of those
that's
before.
very near.
It's the first time we've had that shot.
The verdict.
She was good in it, wasn't
Yeah.
she?
One of the critics said the other day, I don't wear any underpants.
Is that true?
No.
I thought you'd made that up. Oh, that was Tory Boy.
Yeah. 16 years old or something, the youngest person at that point that we'd ever had on the show.
Features the famous sea battle of Actium won by Octavius Caesar.
Maudlin Hislop.
We should do more of these.
Yeah,
you know?
that was
Forget
good.
the bloody, the panel game aspect. Let's have a
Do the
little proper
quiz.
quiz.
Anthony and Cleopatra.
It is Antony and Cleopatra, yes, very good. And for a bonus point, what was the name of the character played by Sheila Hancock in the film Carry On Cleo?
Can I confer?
You can on these, yes.
Oh, this is shaming.
Cenopod.
One of our greatest actresses.
Yes. I'm afraid. Yes, married to Hengist Pod, if you remember.
That's right. And I was 5 months pregnant when I did that with my eldest daughter.
Well, it doesn't show.
Have you seen that one?
It's one of the carry-ons I haven't
Department of
seen.
Education pulped 48,000 posters designed to promote literacy.
He was amazing, that boy, wasn't he? He was so confident.
Stat incomprehensive breed.
Total guess, I imagine a spelling mistake.
I'd say the same thing.
It is a very good guess. Absolutely right answer. The word spelt wrong was vocabulary, in fact. And so for an extra point, how do you spell it?
Vocabulary. V-O-C... A-B-U-L-A-R-Y.
No, I'm afraid you've fallen for the oldest schoolboy joke in the world. You actually spelled
I-T. Oh.
That is so poor.
I can't imagine. I don't know, that must have been another producer's joke.
Yeah.
That's a bit
I
mean,
She's right, though. It is pathetic.
It's a respected actress.
This is...
You drag her along here. How do you spell it? She's a respected actress.
Absolutely, I agree.
You're meant to be Jeremy Paxman, not Jeremy Beadle.
We all got very annoyed about
Yeah.
it, didn't we?
Well, it was a proper quiz, you see. There was points.
I've noticed that the penguins there have
that's
developed this
thin.
thing when a plane goes
Yeah.
overhead, the penguins watching it go overhead like that.
See, look, especially when I do that.
Yeah, no neck.
Yeah, that's what I should do. I should look upwards.
And they can't work it out why these penguins are doing this.
And so what are we doing about it?
The Royal Navy are going out there.
And they're going to get pilots to fly over them.
Yeah.
And see how they react, see
Yeah.
if they do.
Yeah.
You finished my sentence there, I think.
Mini jetpacks.
Oh, this is good.
This was the penguin jetpack.
Yeah.
This ran for 5 years, didn't it?
Only a series, I think.
Only a series.
Oh, probably about 3 programmes.
Yeah.
The system went completely wrong.
Charles Kennedy again.
Near or don't know.
Yeah, all these little bits are getting longer, aren't they, as the years go by? This is what the programme should have been like at the beginning, I suppose.
In fact, is where it stuck. And which penguin is it that is affected in...
Barry.
It's not Barry, no.
It is Barry. It is Barry.
Is it?
Gareth, then.
Definitely was Barry.
No. King penguins, gentoos, and macaroni penguins, apparently.
Macaroni penguins? Why don't they just invest in loads of mattresses? With a high foam rubber content. So the penguin goes back and then bounces up again. And you'll be all right.
Brilliant. I don't
If
know
the
what they
Navy
think
are
about-
watching...
Yes, we could
Yeah,
save
make
£1
them
million.
little foam rubber trousers. Then if you get rid of the mattresses, it doesn't matter where they fall then, because they'll just bounce back up again.
It's true.
Yes, if only we'd thought
No,
about
it's
it.
entirely true. I was just watching open mouth.
Fix their arse and just float at the top. That's why you've got scientists looking at this sort of stuff.
Jetpacks, inflatable trousers.
The Sun
Topical
generously
news quiz.
Yes,
explaining
absolutely.
how penguins falling over might look, were any of its readers unable to imagine it. Here are the penguins unaware of any aircraft. This is them noticing the helicopter. And this is the resultant.
How high up the ladder were you in? I mean, how exactly?
Stephen didn't like him either, did he?
No. This caused panic. Absolute panic.
Yeah,
Because am I going to turn it back on, is the question they're asking.
And
Yes, I am.
you are, but it could easily have been no for the rest of the
Yes.
show.
Oh no! He's ruined it. Dude.
Yeah, someone should have to do it again.
Difficulty over here, David. We lost you for a moment there. Not quite sure why.
Trying to make sure I don't lose my microphone.
Yeah, so that was...
I thought you were off as well at that point.
Come on, let's get on with it.
Well, you can see you, Steve.
It's amazing, isn't it? You do something like as simple as picking up a newspaper, because you haven't done it for 9 years. It suddenly seems an act of sheer radicalism.
Charles.
Well, it's interactive.
Yes.
That's what they like.
Ian Hislop, Jermaine Greer, Charles Kennedy and Paul Merton.
Oh, live odd ones out. No one can accuse us of lacking innovation.
Yes.
I've run out of budget on this.
We're both doing the same gag at the moment, me and you.
It's getting a bit expensive these days.
No, we just thought the real thing.
That's what I'm doing.
Is it about homosexual relationships at university?
There we are.
Yeah, just get it back.
Yes. Let them think about it.
I didn't go to university.
Have we been on
Funny how often it comes round to that.
Yes.
Explain.
Well, they keep doing these lists and telling people like me, who are conspicuously powerless, that we're absolutely...
Well, I've never been on the power
Arbiters
list, so I must be the odd one out.
Is the right answer.
Jump straight in there, you see.
I know. She had the answer. She wanted the points.
I know. It's sheer desperation.
I wonder why I lose.
This is, I should explain, the
I don't.
Observer list of the 300 most powerful people in Britain.
There's a lack of reference there.
I got very camp and fey.
It's being thin, isn't it?
Ian is 235.
Just above Keith Chegwin, am I?
Charles Kennedy is in at number
These
219.
I know.
Absolute nonsense. They fill up lots of pages, but
Two Charlies are both Liberal Democrats, have red hair and are prepared to get their hands dirty if necessary. And of course, both are visibly lacking support.
Done as he got his largest vote, I think.
yes.
Where are we now? 2000. 2001.
We're sick of polls.
Yeah.
Yes to cannabis. Whatever.
Yes, legalised pot is how it's phrased, yes. More than half think it should be available for sale in government-licensed shops. So any suggestions for names of those shops would be gratefully received.
Oh, yes.
Pot shop, Joints Are Us,
Superdrug.
Well, we know what's coming now.
Yes. It is. I haven't thought of it yet. Yeah, I thought of it there.
Spliff.
Don't rate Spliff. I thought of it. There is a company that advertised now in the back of private eye called
called
Don't Rate
WF
Spliff.
Spliff. They just nicked the joke.
Rabbit high on drugs imagines Lord Mayor.
These pictures are great.
Yeah.
When you get these, you very rarely get them.
Rabbit in the middle says, "How come you got water and I've got orange juice?"
The face of the Lord Mayor is terrific.
Lord Mayor saying that's the last time we let the Liberal Democrats in. Look at this.
Yes, you can't go wrong with a picture like that. That's a metal tile bearing there, by the way.
Oh, yes, or half metal, isn't it?
Yes, the top bit's metal. A friend of mine in Wales was making them. That was a funny picture caption.
At a family gathering in Windsor, Prince Andrew announces his plans to remarry Fergie.
You could almost put anything to that
Yeah.
picture, couldn't you?
Fergie's still just about getting a joke.
That Robert Mugabe was lying when he said he admired the Queen's new hat.
So this is last year now. OK, so...
Gosh, we're just down 1 year to go.
Well...
Illegal immigrants, that's...
It has got better, hasn't it? I mean, I'm enjoying the first... You know, the last... Since about 95, I've been enjoying it much more than the first 5 years.
Yeah. I think I've aged less fast, so I like that.
I think you're doing very well, but I think you looked probably older than anybody else at the beginning, but you haven't changed.
When our politicians have shown
Angus is looking a bit...
restraint.
Ah, acting.
Acting. Very good. Poor runner.
Yeah. Acting dead.
That made you proud to be British. Here it comes.
Yeah.
Well, oh, that was great. Absolutely fantastic.
You can't get better than the real thing, though, can you?
No.
Well, it's our version of sort of Jack Ruby and Lee Harvey Oswald, isn't it?
And that's Michael Grade, isn't it?
Punch, I admired him greatly for doing that.
And where were you?
Where was I?
When he lashed
Oh,
out.
I've got an alibi, don't drag me into it.
Yeah.
There's a marvellous look on his face.
And that is Keith Chegwin, isn't it?
Keith Chegwin,
And going like that, because he didn't, you know,
No good making jokes about him. He's obviously the only guest we could get.
Yes.
in this country would never have sort of like just turned around and gone wallop, you know.
It's going to be a bit of a problem, though, when we're talking about yob culture in the future, isn't it? You notice he led with the left. Very un-New Labour.
I think we're getting fat again now. I'm getting confused by this.
I don't know where we are.
Control for that moment, but you know, I think some people sort of think that was showed a human side to him.
Yeah, and when his finger's on the nuclear trigger, it'll be great. Boom!
Nuclear war isn't going to be triggered by somebody throwing an egg.
So, where has Hague
I
succeeded?
hope that's funny in a month's time.
Yeah, so do I. I hope we've got television in a month's time.
But someone did throw an egg at Hague, but...
He avoided it.
That's right, and it hit a pensioner. But
That's not funny, Keith.
Fion, we never quite know how to pronounce her name.
Well, why don't you find out, Ongu?
She sort of points out photo opportunities.
Right.
Yeah. So if they see a baby, this happens. There we are.
Is that Hague on the right?
He didn't make a lot of impact, did he, Hague?
Inflate another baby's head.
No, he's and Duncan Smith's making the same mistake, isn't he?
How does Tony Blair refer to the Hindujas?
He avoids the subject, doesn't he? He says, let's move on, this is all history.
Yeah.
Whenever anyone says anything, he says, let's move on, let's move on. Let's move on, it's all over. It's history, we don't want to talk about this, let's move on.
Dangerously close to an impersonation.
No, it's just...
He refers to them as GP and SP, or at least...
Oh dear, this is the show we had the Elton John lookalike, isn't it?
When he said...
The trouble with the show was that no one knew in the audience that it wasn't him.
No, exactly. That was the problem, exactly. They were waiting for Elton John to say something and were confused that he wasn't saying anything. And then when he did say something, he didn't sound like Elton John.
No.
So because we didn't tell him it wasn't Elton John. Whose idea was that?
I can't remember.
I think it was Colin Swash.
Yeah, I think it was.
He's one of the producers of the show. He was also the man that said we couldn't do the running through the park because it wouldn't work.
I'm glad you brought that up again.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad I brought it up again as well.
I was sitting answering a question, and I was looking across at members of the audience, and they were all leaning over to each other saying, is that Elton John?
Yeah.
I think it's Elton John. He hasn't said much. He's not much good.
Elton John's very quiet, isn't he?
Yeah. God, you'd think he could think of something to say.
Perhaps he's been doing a lot of singing.
No, it didn't really work, that one, did it?
No, never mind.
He was called Ray, wasn't he?
Ray. I think he won a lookalike. He won Best Lookalike of the Year or something, and he won an award.
And he was a cabbie.
Yeah.
And if you want, I'll come and tell you what they are.
And did you get a response?
Where are we now? Oh, back to Michael Crick.
I think we must be getting the bit of footage soon, aren't we? Of
must be Jeffrey Archer again.
Archer's obviously...
Here we are, this is it, I think. If I remember rightly.
We've got a clip of him here complaining about the way that the BBC make programmes about him.
Oh, hello, Mr. Crick. What do you think of Jeffrey Archer? Clip, clip, clip. Oh, come on. Who are you kidding?
You wait till I'm mayor. You'll find out how tough I am.
Oh.
Yes.
It's wonderful when the mask slips, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
All the bonhomie gone.
Yeah.
Straightforward bully.
Bobbies have discovered that if they played music from old police programme hits...
This
like
was on last week, in
Cars and
fact.
stuff,
There's the repeat, but we're recording in September 2002.
This is the West Midlands police, in fact. And where does the whistling come in, then?
I think they've taped some of them whistling Z cars.
They have, yeah. We can actually show you the two
It's a completely made-up story.
That can't possibly be true.
No.
We say it's made up. We vote made up.
Yeah, you see, you're saying the same thing again.
Sergeant Chris Dallin.
OK. Leave that with me.
This is...
Now, normally I wouldn't go any further
Police's
now.
latest weapon in their fight against crime, tapes of policemen whistling TV themes.
Ah, so this is what triggers it now, because he...
And he did.
He has a mobile, of course.
Whistling TV themes in shopping centres.
Yeah, I remember thinking, he's not really going to do this, is he?
He's given me the... So you can't go wrong now, because you're completely ignoring Angus, and it's the two of us are doing this. He's getting me on the
That's
direction
the key,
inquiry.
is it?
Yeah.
Has dropped dramatically. In a speech to police officers earlier this year, David Blunkett said, "I'm shocked at the scale and cost of excess absenteeism."
No, he's
looking for the number.
See, no, so just kind of... No, this is I'm talking to somebody here who is giving me the number of the West Midlands Police Force.
So you're not making this bit up?
No, I was speaking to somebody there.
Worked very well, I wonder why. Have you got the number?
Yeah, I've got the number.
Excellent. Was that director inquiries, then?
Yeah.
Were they helpful?
They've given me the number, which is all you can ask of them.
So I've got like an 8-figure number there, and I dialed 7 numbers. I don't dial the last one.
I wonder if you could settle a bet for me.
Oh, that was...
Yes,
yeah.
there was a
There's
story
nobody
that I
there
saw
now.
in the papers the other
Oh,
day
right, you're just
about
making
the,
this up.
Yeah.
Bromwich Police Force, who are, yes, they've recorded various television theme tunes, they've whistled them, and they're playing them in West Bromwich to cut down crime. It's not bollocks, I assure you.
No, this is real acting.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you don't know my number. Well, you can trace the call, I don't care.
This is all ad-libbing, you know, pass it back to him. All that was coming to me as I said it. Ah, they'd lost the last bit of it.
Yeah, typical edit.
Who's edited this? Colin Swash, I can't believe it. He's done it again, the Swash touch.
And I was just before that, but there was a great bit where I was giving Sarah Cox a bad time about swearing during the school run.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing for me all the time, and he's cut it out.
Cut it out. At the end of that, I say to him, he says, I said I wouldn't make any plans for tomorrow night if I were you.
Yeah.
That's the end of the whole bit.
Yeah. Got no idea about rhythm.
Dear, oh dear. Well,
I want the bit about the school...
Right, this is not being released. I'm taking this off the shelves.
I'm not making this up. A moist towelette. And it says in 3 different languages.
Sarah Cox's listener figures gone down the tube. Why?
Yeah.
Because I had a go at her.
You had a go at her?
There's a 3-year drought. I would imagine that would be the most mouth-watering item in the entire...
What's going on now?
Well, see, I'm not interested in any of this. I'm still angry. How much more of this rubbish is there? Yap. Points to you, yap.
Centre of a big red cross.
It's still going.
Dear, oh dear.
Anthrax attack spread. The British
No, this is a war with someone else.
The public was don't panic and keen to do its bit. The Mirror did manage to get part of the message across. So how's the rock world contributing?
Yes, the whole anthrax thing that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of rocks have been bombed in Afghanistan.
But there's a point here, though, really, isn't there? Sort of about how papers can spread terror.
Yeah.
And can be agents of terrorism by simply spreading panic.
Well, that's how you sell more papers.
Yeah.
Paul McCartney, he did his... What is it?
That's a Labour MP we've got on there. And that's Jenny Bond. So there must be some royal stuff around.
Yes. Jagger actually said if there's one lesson to be learnt from this, it's that you don't fuck with New York.
Well, he has.
Who's that Labour guy?
Andrew McKinley.
Andrew McKinley.
He was a sort of rebel MP.
Yes, we can have a look at him.
He accused all the other MPs of sucking up to Blair and asking
He's grown, hasn't he?
planted questions in the Commons about how marvellous he was. The Labour Party got very angry with him.
You can see the sort of terror or prejudice. The antidote to that is humour and comedy, you know.
It's always a good idea to analyse what you're doing.
If you're a brain...
There's a put down.
Don't analyse what you're doing, for God's sake.
No.
It'll come down as reading out loud.
Yeah. Yes, right. Don't have a go at me, mate. Thin. I look thin there.
Only because you're sitting next to Boris.
Yes, that's true. Oh, no,
he was wrong in the middle, wasn't
he? Yes. I think...
I'm so sorry.
I think he got somebody to do that.
Said you're fired, Boris.
I'm terribly sorry.
No, but you could have taken the call if you wanted to.
Did you say I can't speak now? I'm on television at the moment.
That was what I said.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Yeah, well covered. Excellent.
That was a first, though.
Possibility of Ian Duncan Smith becoming Prime Minister. Very first time that identical twins have ever led the Conservative Party.
Is he stoned? Which we can all be now, apparently.
Well, we stand, yes.
Without fear of arrest.
What has the Tories' response to this been thus far?
Oh, Anne Widdecombe's stepped forward and said it's a dealer's charter. She was saying these words, she didn't have a clue what she was talking about.
What did Duncan Smith say?
Ian and Duncan Smith, please. Let's not have any favouritism.
I think
Ian would be very upset if he was being left out.
I think they both said that they were in the middle of policy review. So
Probably arguing with each other.
Yeah.
Which one of the twins do you get on well with better? Ian or Duncan?
Now, I've lost you, Boris, haven't I?
I'm a great admirer of both.
No, he's there.
That way. What is this thing about them being two people? What does
Ian and Duncan Smith. It's the first time identical twins have ever led a major Conservative party.
I see, it's a conceit.
Conceit.
Yeah, he is terrific value. You have to give it to him.
Yes. I do. I'm happy to say there was a very important...
It strikes me you didn't know there was two of them. So, how much you know is really up to the question.
You claim you know a lot about your leader. I think we should probably...
Oh, this is it. They're going to get him.
Now, again, we don't know this is happening.
No, we had no idea this was coming.
No, we don't know about this stuff. Which makes it easier to do in a way. It makes it easier to add
What, because it's real?
Yeah.
He's got that kipper face on.
Yes.
Name, please.
Isn't your specialist subject?
Oh, look, my shirt glows in the dark, coincidentally.
No, it is in fact Alexander Boris de Pfeffel Johnson. Isn't it?
It is.
Now, this is the third time he's been on, isn't it? Presumably, if we are to...
Yes, I think so. And it won't be the last, I hope.
No. It is odd sometimes when you hear us laughing at jokes that we've made, but it's because we don't remember them.
Yeah.
So because, we don't have scripted remarks. So, I mean, whenever I watch Room 101, I never bother watching the repeat because I remember it so well. I remember the questions, I remember how it went, I remember the bits I brought in. But this, I'm constantly surprised at what comes next.
And also, people have this idea that the first time people are on is funny and then it's a law of diminishing returns. But actually with Boris, I think every time he's on, it gets better.
Yes, I think that's right. I think quite often it is a law of diminishing returns with some people where they come on and sheer nerves gets them through it the first time, sheer adrenaline. The second time they think they know how to do it.
No, 12.5% is the answer.
But with him, the first time he says there's an elephant trap coming, and then every time he comes on, there's another one that he just doesn't seem to twig.
What did he do in the House of Commons?
But I mean, they're now talking about Boris not only as the next editor of the Telegraph and the Sunday Telegraph, but as the next leader of the Conservative Party.
Oh, no.
They are.
No, surely not.
He is the most famous Tory MP. Name a Tory MP.
Oh, well, yes, on that.
Nearly as famous as him.
Yes.
And there isn't one.
But he's only just become a Tory MP, isn't he?
Yeah, but he was... I mean, he
took over Heseltine's seat, didn't he?
Yeah.
Henley?
In a celebrity culture, if you're looking for a leader...
Yes.
There he is.
And at the end of that...
I think it would be fantastic if he became leader of the Conservative Party.
Absolutely fantastic. Just before we went on for this last recording, he said to me... He was very outraged about something, and he said, do you know what the Conservative Party is on asylum seekers? And I said, yeah. And he said, I didn't. He said, it's shocking, isn't it? And I thought, it's in the paper, Boris.
I know. But did go to Brazil with his boyfriend and cast a voodoo spell.
Oh, this is Derek Draper, who was a sort of Labour spin doctor.
So presumably,
who gave it all up and then...
is Peter Mandelson, because he doesn't sing about voodoo, he actually practices it.
Is the right answer.
Yeah, he worked for Mandy, didn't he? Or with Mandy.
Yes. That was a good answer. At this point, we can openly talk about Mandelson.
Yeah.
That was called Voodoo Voodoo.
How does it go?
Voodoo, voodoo. But they're obviously much lower than that.
Voodoo,
voodoo. Yes.
Funniest thing was, it wasn't the fact that Peter... Okay. It wasn't the fact that Peter Mandelson actually did this voodoo spell.
I seem to be wearing some sort of... I seem to belong to some gay cricket club.
Which, unsurprisingly...
Or your mother's put your whites
yes.
in the wash with an old blue jumper.
Which I think is more likely.
It's a very odd outfit, isn't it?
The trouble is, you know, after all these years, you end up wearing the most outrageously stupid things because your judgment goes after a while.
So not a charity record,
I just wear a jacket and a shirt. Yeah. It's much easier.
Fortunate out of this.
And what have been active over the past 10 years?
International rubber stamps.
More precisely?
It must have been from one of those specialist mags.
Stamps.
German stamp.
Rubber Stamp
Rubber
Mad.
Stamp Madness.
That's right.
Here is the winner of this year's national rubber stamp contest of Germany, entitled...
Oh, yes.
Oh, I just don't believe this.
Yeah, I didn't believe this.
Decapitated that child. God, what sort of zoo is this? They've put the rhino behind the cage and they've stuck the kids right next to the tiger. It's eaten that child's body.
It is very disturbing, isn't it?
It's only the rhino that's in the enclosure, you see. The tiger is one of us. Very deep.
Well, I think that's a policy which, frankly, needs reviewing.
He turned into a politician.
Not there, he's only got a head.
I've got enthused. I've been shown a funny picture.
Of a tiger.
He probably wouldn't be able to answer, so...
Well, you can stick your hand up his back, pull his vote report. It's a very bad idea. I wish I'd never come to this zoo.
Thank you.
Bloody tiger's bitten my head.
And I leave you with news that Martin McGuinness's gardener regrets trying to plant some root vegetables without permission.
That's the bloke whose house collapsed.
And as investigators look to the Arab world for the evil mastermind behind the terror campaign, all the evidence points to one man.
He has become he has been a running theme throughout the entire show. And here we are. This is this year now.
All those years ago.
Tea room as the rivalry between Tony Blair and Gordon Brown threatens to get out of hand. And in London, the executors...
Where'd they get these wedding videos from?
You've been framed.
Yes.
Animal Hospital.
Yeah. He's got a
you can tell we're on BBC One.
Dirty Desmond.
Oh, yes.
Ah, there's the cabinet. There's Byers. Gosh, something awful must be about to happen.
He finally went, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Gosh, it took a whole series, didn't it?
Mr Desmond, the OK for the Daily Express...
Oh, Bill Deeds.
...happened to give the Labour Party £100,000. Purely coincidental. I'm not going into his character, but many thought he was not suitable.
The oldest panellist I think we ever had. Is he?
Yeah.
90?
At least.
Let's just list one or two of his publications.
The world's oldest man.
Yes.
Well, really revolting. I mean, the Daily Express was
extraordinary he comes on. I think it's wonderful. He's been on twice, I think.
Yeah. And very sharp. He knew the answer to everything. He was furious that we didn't win.
Really?
Yeah.
Boobs, posh wives, skinny and wriggly. Do you know what these magazines are like?
No.
Skinny and wriggly.
All one needs is love.
The Beatles song, the Queen starting it off to celebrate her Jubilee year or whatever, and she's starting singing.
Charlotte Church.
The youngest person we've ever had on?
I don't know, that Tory boy might have been younger.
Maybe.
Is going to do one line each.
But she was certainly the most confident, amazing performance, wasn't it?
She's been performing since the age of 7 or 8 or something.
No, I wasn't asked.
Probably got an exam that day anyway.
Actually, I've got a... I'm sorry because I completely turned this whole kind of game show around and talk about me, but oh well.
Getting the hang of it.
In the middle of my GCSEs and go over to America and sing for the president. I think I've got to do history and another exam over in America. I just thought I'd tell you that.
Well, don't ask
fact.
his advice on the paper.
She told a very funny story backstage.
Yeah. Oh, did she?
About the fact that her father's her manager and they live in a house which she's bought. And her father once said to her, "Go to your room," and she said, "They're all my rooms."
What a wonderful thing for an adolescent to be able to say to her dad.
Because
I thought that must be what all children have wanted to say.
Yes. Probably came over and bombed Britain or something. So I just kind of...
No, she stormed it. She got amazing reviews the next day.
It's in Britain, next to England, and I kind of walked away because I felt a bit stupid then, so
Nah.
I left it at
You
that.
felt stupid. Prime Minister with Tony Blair. Lord Levy, fundraiser.
The Beckhams having a new extension built.
Who's that?
I don't know. Oh, it's... Oh, this is the...
This has been
Dave
one story
Gorman.
of the week, isn't it? But
Ah.
I'm really interested in Angus.
Oh, God,
Here we go. This is the moment.
He doesn't know it's going to happen, does he?
No.
Now, you and this prostitute...
He really thought nothing would happen.
paying her.
She didn't tell me that she's a prostitute.
She didn't tell you?
But you must have paid her for the article. I mean, I don't want to dwell on this, but...
Now, that we did agree on.
Yeah, we did agree we sort of would have a copy each.
You made me groan all night. Yeah, what are you doing? Reading the autocue?
The autocue gag straight in there.
Yeah.
Angus was the best lover I've ever had, and you didn't pay her?
It was just drivel, that
Yes,
piece, wasn't it?
Yeah.
This is just unbelievable. We could have kept going till breakfast.
This is very early on in the recording, but it had to be this early.
Yeah.
Because I don't think any of the other stuff would have gone for anything if we hadn't have...
Or did you just take it on the chin?
He's looking at his watch. He thinks it's going to be over soon.
Yes. Are you talking about the career or the recording?
Hang on. That's him.
He's doing well.
Yeah.
You know, it's the only approach he can take, really. It's the...
Well, he did turn up.
Yes.
I don't think she was the only one that was wired.
Yeah.
I haven't watched this since...
Slappers are us. You just sort of
I think there's
ring
quite a
them up.
few, yeah. Is that it, or do you want to...
No, I'm afraid it isn't.
Well, there's a world war breaking out in India.
So the ethics committee that you were talking about...
Are you convinced that this will clean up the Labour Party, then, this committee?
No.
Back to the programme for a
Describe
moment.
yourself as a model of new Labour conformity.
Not for long, I hope.
Oh, what was I on at the time?
There we go.
Angus can sort you
It's just... It's just there
hanging
to be
in the
hit,
air,
isn't
isn't
it? Yeah, you know.
I'm surprised you had a nerve to turn up this week, really. You knew it was going to be like this.
Well, I did, yes, because of you two.
Yes, in a way, it's our fault, isn't it?
Good moment. The classic blame shift manoeuvre
Yes.
not working.
Yes. Yes.
I certainly felt to blame personally, didn't you?
Yes. Sorry.
Thank goodness I took a line of coke before I came on.
Hit the nail on the head.
This idea, the idea we were talking about, will mean yet more work for Transport Secretary...
You don't think any of this stuff's going to be used,
This is a new type of DVD commentary.
Yes,
Us
exactly.
just laughing at our own
Exactly.
jokes.
Well, I'm learning that slowly, yes.
This must have been one of those days when Stephen Byers could have leaked some more news.
Good line from Ken.
Yeah. And he managed to get the subject back to himself and the Lord Mayor.
It's one of those stories about how much the average man shaves in the course of a lifetime, and if he didn't shave, his beard would reach from here to Manchester or London or whatever. So it's one of those stories, basically, about what the average man gets up to in his uneventful life.
Yes. What were the other fascinating facts?
It also said that the average man has sex twice a week, which with people like you around means there's a lot of people getting nothing.
I wonder if they're going to pick the bit where you let him off.
His final meal before execution. What
Yes, he
seems to
wants a
have-
steak.
Is the average man being executed? Gosh, I knew Blunkett was cracking down.
And 97% know who Mr. Blair is. 77% know who you are, apparently. But you came second in a popularity poll, didn't you?
Yes, to the Pope, but it was a long time ago. It was that Today Man of the Year thing. And it was 1982, and I was being pilloried in the press, hate mail coming in. I turned on the radio, I'm second to the Pope.
What
I
did
thought
that tell you?
Not to believe what crap I read in the papers.
Here it comes.
Didn't you think...
In all cases?
This is where you did it.
Pretty much, I think, yeah.
So it's not true, any of it?
Here we go.
The basic traits.
Is that what you're saying? It's not true. Is that what you're saying?
Sorry.
It's not true. That's what you're saying.
Elements are true, elements are untrue.
There was an elephant in there?
Yeah,
I let him off. I went for the gag.
Yeah, typical comics instinct.
I know.
We're just about to pin him. Is it true or not? And you do a gag.
I know.
Elephant stuff, and we don't even find it.
I know.
You could have had him on tape there saying whether it was true or not.
Yeah, I know.
Off into elephants.
I know. I knew it at the time, but I couldn't resist it.
No.
I had to go for the gag.
The Roman transvestite this week.
Oh, yes, I
Did anyone read that?
Yeah.
It was just under all the stories about Angus, but it was rather good.
Remind me.
It was this... They found the remains of a Roman transvestite who lived happily in England. He belonged to the cult of this woman called Cybele, and all her followers used to go out into the streets.
Very excited by this
If they'd been
story.
unfaithful, they would cut off their own testicles as a symbol of repentance.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, thank God we live in enlightened time.
Yeah. Has anyone got a pair of nail scissors?
This is the profile of the average British man based on figures.
Still on there.
I can't believe it.
Sort of wrapping it up. Based on figures from the Office of National Statistics, apparently the average man uses the toilet 6 times a day and the lino round the base another 10. And the average man is most likely to have a heart attack on a Monday, especially if he's just seen the tabloids.
The shirt's about to come
I think
out,
so,
it must
isn't
be.
it?
Remote chance of what for women? Help yourself.
Is that what you said?
You've
when
said
you
that
lay down?
before, haven't you?
I think it's very bad, really, to have brought the newspapers on. Imagine going to that kind of effort to, you know, I mean, I was as guilty of Ian, really, of sort of bringing on the front cover of the News of the World. I mean, it's really... To go to all that kind of effort is just unbelievable.
I got offers. Some bloke offered me 50 quid for it, for this shirt.
I like your phrase, equally guilty.
Yes.
You having been to the shop and getting the T-shirt printed.
Is the wrong answer.
They're available in cream as well.
Are they? Excellent. Controlling TV viewing is the answer.
Oh, is it really?
Yes. It's men who hold on to the remote control in households, according to scientists.
Oh, really?
Yes, that was the answer to the question.
Was it?
Yes. According to a neuropsychologist at Maudsley Hospital...
You can't look me in the eye now, can you?
This is right at the very end of the show.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's just too distracting to have it there.
To hide it, apparently, according
Really?
to... Yes.
So I'm not saying anything here now, it's just...
Neuropsychologist.
Just anything. But the audience was full of tabloid hacks, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Taking down the line.
This week, why'd I bother?
Book a hotel room?
It was relentless, wasn't it?
Got me Barclay card dirty?
Yes, he didn't like that one. That was a bit...
Hi, the PR man.
Yeah, you must be paying him a fortune.
Thank goodness he's kept you out the press.
Matthew Freud, wasn't it?
Yes, yes.
Next, what? A rich source of vitamins?
It just became fish in a barrel, didn't it?
Yeah.
Just a few retakes.
So how many journalists are here still? I noticed the 2 people who left earlier.
Just the unseen footage.
He was sitting here, he's left.
Oh, is he?
Oh, no. I was hoping to catch up.
How did you know was he taking notes?
He was just writing away, taking notes. I said, what the bloody hell are you doing? He says, I'm a journalist. I said, well, from what paper? He said, the Mail. I was like, oh, right, OK.
Why is he taking notes then? I'll just go home and make it up.
It was very good to have all this.
Yeah, I haven't seen this.
Which mean observations signal the end of that sample, with both teams having difficulty coming to terms with the idea of leading, level as they are on 6. And they only score 1 more point each between now and the end of the game.
6, so that's because we didn't answer any questions.
Yes.
It wasn't the winning that was important tonight, it was the being here.
Is that it? Is that where we come to the end?
That's it. Oh,
Let's watch it again.